Your room was clean 3 days ago. You put everything away. You told yourself this time it would stay that way. And now you're standing in the middle of it again, looking at the same pile of clothes on the chair, the same cup on the desk, the same mess that somehow rebuilt itself while you weren't paying attention. Here's the truth nobody tells you. Your room isn't messy because you're lazy. It's messy because you never actually solved the problem, you just cleaned around it. And in Japan, there's an entire philosophy built around fixing this permanently, using a habit that takes less than 60 seconds a day. It's called Osouji. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why your room keeps getting messy no matter how many times you clean it, and the simple system that makes a decluttered room something you barely have to think about again. Let's start with what Osouji actually means, because it's not what most people assume. Osouji is often translated simply as cleaning, but that translation misses almost everything important about it. In Japanese culture, Osouji isn't an event. It's not something you schedule for a Sunday afternoon when the mess has piled up enough to bother you. It's a continuous, almost invisible practice woven into daily life. Small, constant acts of order rather than one large act of restoration. This distinction matters more than it sounds like it should. Most people treat cleaning as damage control. The room falls apart and then you go to war with it. You spend 2 hours restoring order, feel accomplished, and then watch it slowly fall apart again over the following days. Osouji rejects this cycle entirely. It isn't about the big cleanup. It's about never letting the mess accumulate enough to need one. And here's the part that changes how you think about your own space completely. Clutter isn't actually a cleaning problem. It's a decision problem. Every item that ends up out of place in your room got there, because in that moment, you postponed a tiny decision. You didn't decide the sweater didn't have a home. You just didn't want to decide where it went right then, so you put it on the chair for now. You didn't decide where the charging cable lived, you just left it on the desk because deciding felt like more effort than the mess itself. Multiply that by dozens of small postponed decisions a day, and within a week, your room looks like it collapsed. It didn't collapse, it just accumulated the weight of decisions you kept avoiding. This is why cleaning your room doesn't fix anything long term. You're addressing the objects, but you're not addressing the decision avoidance that put them there in the first place. Osouji works because it targets the actual cause, not the symptom. So let's build the system, starting with the single most important rule in this entire philosophy. Every object gets a home, not a general area, not somewhere in the room, a specific exact spot. So precise that you could put it away with your eyes closed. Your keys don't belong on a surface somewhere. They belong in a specific tray, in a specific spot, every single time. Your headphones don't belong wherever you take them off. They belong on a specific hook or in a specific drawer, always the same one. Here's why this single rule solves almost everything on its own. When an object has one exact home, putting it away stops being a decision. It becomes a reflex. You're not standing there thinking, where should this go? You already know because there's only one answer. The mess we associate with laziness is usually just decision fatigue in disguise. Remove the decision, and the mess mostly disappears with it. Now let's talk about how to actually set this up, because most people try to declutter randomly, and that's exactly why it doesn't stick. Japanese organizing philosophy treats a room not as one space, but as a collection of zones, each with a single defined purpose. A surface is not just a surface. It's the entry zone, or the work zone, or the rest zone, and each zone only holds items that belong to its specific function. Think about your entryway for a second. In many Japanese homes, this space, the genken, has one job: transition. Shoes go here, bags go here, keys go here, and nothing else is allowed to accumulate in that spot, because the moment other objects start living there, the zone loses its function and becomes generic clutter space. The same logic applies to your desk. Your desk's job is focused work, so anything unrelated to that function doesn't belong there, even temporarily. Your nightstand's job is winding down for sleep, so it holds a book, maybe a lamp, and nothing that pulls your attention elsewhere. Once every zone has one clear function, something interesting happens. You immediately notice when an object drifts into the wrong zone because it visibly doesn't belong. A coffee mug on your nightstand stands out instantly instead of blending into general mess because your brain now recognizes zones instead of just seeing a room. This is what Japanese minimalists call preventing object drift, stopping items from slowly migrating away from their designated homes and turning your space into undefined chaos. Setting this up takes real effort. Once you walk through your room, you assign every zone a single purpose. You give every object currently in your space one specific home. This might take an afternoon, but here's the payoff. You only have to do this once. After that, maintaining it takes seconds, not hours, which brings us to the actual daily habit that makes this whole system work. It's called the constant return, and it takes about 30 seconds. Instead of letting objects sit out of place until they pile up into a mess that requires a big cleanup, you return items to their home the moment you're done using them. You take off your headphones, they go on the hook immediately, not on the desk for a second. You finish a glass of water, it goes to the sink immediately, not onto the nightstand. This isn't a scheduled task. It's a reflex you build into moments you're already living through. There's no extra time required because you're already standing there holding the object. The only change is where your hand goes next. This single habit is the difference between a room that stays clean and a room that requires constant restoration. Most people only clean when the mess is already big enough to be annoying. Osouji interrupts the mess before it ever becomes visible, which means the big cleanup essentially disappears from your life because there's never enough clutter built up to need one. Now, let's talk about the nightly reset, because this is where the system compounds. Before bed, you spend 60 seconds walking through your main living space and returning anything that drifted out of its zone during the day. A cup that ended up on the desk goes back to the kitchen. A jacket on the chair goes back on its hook. This isn't deep cleaning. It's not wiping surfaces or organizing drawers. It's simply resetting your zones back to their default state before the day ends. The reason this matters so much is psychological as much as physical. Waking up in a room that's already in order removes a small but real weight before your day even starts. You're not opening your eyes to yesterday's decisions staring back at you. And because the mess never had a chance to build up overnight, the 60-second reset the next night is just as fast as it was the day before. The system never gets harder to maintain because it never gets a chance to fall behind. Let's talk briefly about tools, because Japanese cleaning culture is famously minimal here, and that's intentional. You don't need elaborate storage systems or expensive organizational products for this to work. What you actually need is small defined containers, a tray for the items that always sit on a surface like keys or a wallet, a basket for the items that tend to drift, so instead of items scattering across a room, they at least drift into one contained space, and baskets designated by zone, not by category, a basket for things that end up on the entryway floor rather than a basket labeled miscellaneous, because miscellaneous is where clutter goes to become permanent. There's one more rule worth mentioning for the long term, and it's called 1 in 1 out. Every time a new object enters your space, in particular where surfaces or specific zones are already at capacity, an old object has to leave. This isn't about aggressive minimalism or throwing things away recklessly. It's about protecting the zones you've already built. A desk that fits 10 items stays functional. A desk you keep adding to without ever removing anything eventually turns back into the same undefined clutter space you already fixed once. 1 in 1 out is simply what keeps a decluttered room decluttered a year from now, not just this week. And finally, there's a seasonal layer to this practice tied to something bigger in Japanese culture. This is really the entire philosophy behind Osouji, and it's worth sitting with for a second. It's not a cleaning technique. It's not a checklist you complete once. It's a lifestyle built on small, immediate decisions repeated consistently. Assign a home to everything. Return objects the instant you're done with them. Reset your space before each day ends, and protect that order over time by respecting the limits of your zones. Do this, and something quietly shifts. You stop needing motivation to clean because there's rarely anything that's built up enough to need cleaning. Tonight, try just a 60-second reset before bed, nothing more. Just return whatever's drifted out of place back to where it belongs and see how different your room feels tomorrow morning. If this gave you a system you actually think you'll stick with, let me know in the comments. And if you want more of these, the quiet Japanese habits that fix problems Western advice never actually solves, subscribe, because that's exactly what this channel is built on.